So why would someone choose AEI? Well, there's lots of reasons, and everyone's story is their own, but there are a few common reasons and benefits that we see.
This is a very, very organized school. This is a very well-structured school without taking away the creativity. Our teachers are incredibly creative, incredibly intelligent, I'd like to say. The staff here is very impressed. And what's really fine about our program is that it's a serious program. So it does all aspects of English language skills, and grammar, writing, all of those pieces are taken into consideration. It's not just a survival English program, not at all. It's very intense, and it brings the students to a level of being able to use this on higher academic level. Test preparation is specifically to prepare the students for taking those tests that they're required to have to go into the college setting.
In the United States, English is the basic language and is the native language here. In order to be accepted into a school in the United States, you have to show that you're competent in understanding, speaking, and comprehending English. And that's what the TOEFL test is. It tests your competence in English. And universities actually require that you score a certain number on that test in order to show that you're competent to speak and understand the language. Why? That's because American universities teach in English. It will be pointless for you to be admitted if you cannot understand what they say.
The proof is in the pudding because the students are coming out with 100 in their scoring, which is an excellent score in the TOEFL test, and sometimes even higher. That's usually a score that's required for master's PhD level. And we have some of our students going into bachelor's programs with those scores. Extremely important for students to know that a school is accredited because it shows that that school has passed the test, so to speak, of language training in our case. It really legitimizes the program that we have and standardizes it in the sense that the students are coming and getting top line what they're looking for in English language training in the case of CEA, for example, Commission on English Language Accreditation. That one is really a very tough accreditation to come by. I worked on it in past times when we had to write the standards for those, and I could see how intense it was, how incredibly examining of the school and every detail of the school. So that's an awesome accreditation for us to have and necessary for us as a language training institute.
Well, I would say that when I was in high school and school, I took an English class for 12 years and I didn't learn anything compared to what I learned when I came here. So I would say that when you have English daily basis, like you talk to anyone and you are forced to learn, and you pick up words and then you start understanding better and better. So I remember my first month here, I went to the store and they were like, hey, did you find everything okay? You know how they ask? And I was like, I'm sorry, what? What did you ask me? I don't understand. And I was freaking out because I couldn't understand. And going there every day made it easier, because at some point I understood what they were asking, and they were just trying to be friendly and ask me if I needed something else. And definitely speaking English every day, talking to people that speak English is so helpful, and coming here is the best way. I always said that. My example explains everything. I was there in Costa Rica, I never learned anything. I came here, in a year I was speaking already. So it's just way better to come here.
The most important is the practice. That's it. For example, math.
Yeah.
If you only immerse in the culture, you can speak.
Yeah.
It's the only thing. The most important.
That's the way.
Just in a simple day, if you go to shopping, you need to speak.
Well, you definitely need a native speaking instructor because I realized when students come here and they don't have a native speaker, for example, or they don't communicate with native speakers, they don't pick up the language as well as they should. It gives you the original grasp of the English language over here in the United States, basically.
Well, first of all, they're getting someone who has, not only because of their educational background, but because of their native speaking abilities, someone who really knows the language. And the language at a number of levels. You've got your academic or business English, but then you also have your conversational, sort of regular English, I guess. And in addition to the other terms, slang terms and other expressions that they want to learn that get filtered into the class as well. So basically, if you have someone who's a native speaker, they're coming in with that ability. The school also emphasizes having qualifications in teaching English as a second language. I have a doctorate in English and taught at the university level, both English as a foreign language and just straight up English classes at university level. But I also have my TESOL, which is teaching English to speakers of other languages, which is teaching English as a second language. And I need that, despite my experience, despite my education, I needed that in order to be qualified for the school.
So they know all the ways how to get your attention or how to deliver information to you so you could understand it and learn it. And I think it's very important to hire the people who are qualified for this job.
The classes are small. There aren't many students, so maybe 10, 8 per class, and it's so good to be concentrated in the class.
Everybody comes out of EAI speaking really good English, and I've seen students over here that were in previous levels that speak fluent English by now. I think the teachers over here are really committed. I think the staff are very helpful. And the school has a very relaxing atmosphere. It is one of the most perfect places to learn English, to be honest.
Actually, I took an IP class in a university. They are great, but I think it's really more help and more having time with students here. In here, instructors have more time and more interest to understand students from all over the world.
And when I came here, I just like the school. I love the teachers, I love my classmates, I love Miss Barbara and Miss Julie. I mean, this school feels like home. And pretty much when you are not from this country, that's what you are missing. You know, something that makes you feel that you are at home.
I think America there has many cities beautiful, but Atlanta has a lot of advantage because the weather is it's cheaper than in comparison with other cities, for example. The transportation, I think, in my concept, is good. Yeah. And there are many places to visit, and it's really good, I think.
The airports are cool too. Yeah, a lot of flights come here.
I love Atlanta because this is a beautiful city, has so many parks, has so many activities. The people is just nice as they can be, and I just love it. The weather is perfect. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. The seasons are just beautiful, and I just love Atlanta.
Travel to New Orleans sometimes, DC. I like to travel a lot here in the United States too, because I believe each part of here in the United States is different. It's like its own country basically. I've been to a lot of places over here in Atlanta. I've been to a couple of museums, to the Natural History Museum, the Martin Luther King Museum. I've been all over downtown and Midtown. Been to a couple of clubs over here as well. Been to a lot of lounges, like Sky Lounge, for example. You can see like the whole view of Atlanta, ridden the Ferris wheel. Been to the Coca-Cola factory, visited CNN, been to the aquarium. I love Atlanta, and I know it inside out, basically.
I was living in Boston, so it is a pretty cold city, a pretty expensive city. So and I moved to the US with my wife, and I might be able to tolerate more cold weather, but she's not. So we were looking for a, put it in that way, cheaper city on the south that offers you a better weather, but also Atlanta also, because you could have picked any other southern city, but Atlanta give you like a major metropolis environment, while you can get the other stuff that you're looking for. You can get good weather, you can get cheaper living expenses, and you could also, in the medical field, you have plenty of options to work with. Like you have many hospitals, you have many universities. That's also because it's a big city.
Yeah, the CDC is here.
The CDC, which is a great place to do research, is here. Emory is here, so that gives you a lot of options to work with. So that was the reason why I moved to Atlanta, and also because I found AEI. You don't find too many places who teach you USMLE and can give you an F1 status. So that's another major advantage.
Our students come to AEI for a variety of reasons. The experience of learning American English in its native land, the city of Atlanta with its lower cost of living, 4 seasons of weather, and adventure around every turn, or setting their career on the fast track to success with our certified native speaking instructors and the personal attention that comes from having smaller class sizes.